And hello, everyone. I'm your host, Daren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, November 30th. Of course, you're watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We want to encourage you to stay connected to us. You can find out more about us at Twitter at BronxNet TV and Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. Well, starting off with local news, a Bronx deputy inspector is facing sexual assault charges today, accused of assaulting his fellow officer. Prosecutors say Keith Walton, head of the 49th Precinct, allegedly summoned a female officer to his office and then pulled her by a hair and then tried to kiss and grope her. According to sources, another officer walked in on the incident taking place on November 6th and witnessed the assault. Bronx District Attorney Megan Powers says the 20-year-old veteran admitted to having physical contact with the officer, but says it was consensual, according to Walton. The contact with his fellow officer was alleged to be because the two hit it off at a social event the night before. The 44-year-old deputy inspector is charged with sexual abuse, forcible touching, and official misconduct and harassment. He's been placed on modified duty as of present, stripped of his gun and shield, as well as transferred to a desk job at the department's headquarters. In other news, 2 Rikers Island correctional officers have been indicted for beating up a man in 2014 and then plotting to cover it up. I should say a woman. According to the Bronx DA's office, Officer Velma Smith and Sean Smith grabbed a female inmate by the hair and then punched her repeatedly. Officer Velma Rogers allegedly stood by and watched. After the incident, the officers failed to file a use of force report required of any correctional officer who uses force on an inmate. Now, when asked about the incident, both denied the altercation, but the incident was captured on video. Both officers are charged with felony charges of falsifying records. The indictment is the 35th and 36th arrests of Department of Corrections staff at Rikers Island. In other parts of the Bronx, a very known principal is being accused of changing students' grades in an effort to boost graduation rates. DeWitt Clinton High School principal Santiago Taveras has been removed from the school after Special Commissioner of Investigation received a tip about his actions. Reports say the teachers at the high school grew tired and disgusted about his dependence on fraud to rescue the school's reputation. Taveras was known to be one of the favorites of school chancellor Carmen Farina. He's been reassigned away from Clinton High School pending the disciplinary matter. And also in the Bronx, the city has no plans to expand city bikes into the borough anytime soon. The Department of Transportation said on Monday there was no timetable to extend city bikes into the Bronx and Staten Island. Now, Councilman Yadanis Rodriguez launched a plan to add public funding to the system that would allow city bikes to expand into new neighborhoods, but Department of Transportation officials Polly Trottenberg says placing the stations in less accessible places makes it difficult for workers to distribute and maintain bikes. City Bike was also criticized last year after stations were added in New Jersey as well as Jersey City, and city boroughs were left unserviced. Councilman Rodriguez says public money should be used to get the bikes in every neighborhood come 2020. And in other news in our borough, Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. along with AT&T hosted an awards brunch at the Hard Rock Cafe for players and coaches in the Little League President's Cup at Yankee Stadium. BronxNet reporter Katie Lloyd Knight was there, and she brings us the story.